Welcome to this explainer. Okay, picture this. You're driving, and suddenly you hit deep floodwaters. But instead of sinking, your car literally starts floating. Or you're craving a coffee, and it drops right out of the sky from a drone. Or hey, you wake up and a highly advanced humanoid robot, one that cost you less than a used economy car, is making your breakfast. Sounds like some wild sci-fi movie, right? Well, actually, no. It's not fiction, and it's definitely not the future. This is the active, everyday reality unfolding in China right now. Let's dive in and see exactly how they're engineering this massive hegemonic shift.
So as an economic analyst, I've been closely tracking this master plan. Today, we're going to run through how China went from the world's sweatshop to the ultimate high-tech incubator. We'll look at the Silicon Valley of the East, BYD's aggressive vertical integration, skies full of drones, the new humanoid robotics race, and finally, what all this means for the global tech order.
All right, part one, the Silicon Valley of the East.
We've got to start by completely tossing out this massive global blind spot. For decades, the old perception of Chinese industry was, well, cheap labor, knockoff goods, and massive factories. But the reality on the ground today? It's completely shifted. Take Shenzhen. A few decades ago, it was literally a tiny fishing village. Today, it is the absolute epicenter of artificial intelligence. It's not a factory for cheap goods anymore, it's a factory for future ideas. And honestly, they built this while much of the world was kind of looking the other way.
Let's move to part two, vertical integration, BYD versus Tesla.
If you want to understand China's primary economic weapon, which is aggressive vertical integration, just look at the auto industry. A few years ago, Western media and tech giants totally brushed off Chinese EV startups. I mean, there's that famous clip of Elon Musk literally laughing out loud at the idea that BYD could even be a competitor. Well, the data shows no one is laughing now. BYD, which, by the way, stands for Build Your Dreams, quietly scaled up their operations and actually outsold Tesla globally last year. Crazy, right?
And it really shows you the power of their patient strategy. Back in 1995, BYD was just a small operation in an apartment, simply making and selling batteries. They didn't even enter car manufacturing until 2003. Fast forward to 2024, and they are the undisputed #1 EV maker on the planet, selling millions of units. They played the long game. They didn't start with the car. They started by mastering the absolute hardest component of the car first.
And that brings us to vertical integration. BYD's superpower is that they manufacture their own critical components. They aren't waiting on some fragile global supply chain. The absolute pinnacle of this is their famous Blade battery. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery, but instead of the usual clunky block, it's designed in this super sleek sword-like shape that slides right under the chassis. It's hyper-efficient, incredibly safe, and it's basically the secret sauce powering their entire fleet.
To really wrap your head around the scale of this vertically integrated operation, just think about the number 1,400. That is how many cars just one single BYD factory pumps out every single day. If you break that math down, that is one brand new electric vehicle rolling off the assembly line every single minute. It's a level of automated efficiency that is just turning the global auto industry upside down. And these aren't just bare-bones golf carts, okay? We're talking luxury EVs hitting the market at a totally disruptive $25,000 price point. And the features? Pure sci-fi. Like I mentioned earlier, some models have an emergency flotation capability. Drive into a flood and boom, your car is basically a boat for 30 minutes. They've got hyper-fast charging where you grab 400 kilometers of range in just 5 minutes. Oh, and independent self-parking. You literally get out, walk away, and the car navigates the lot to find a spot all by itself.
Moving on to part three, automating the sky, drones.
So, this vertical integration, it doesn't stop at the pavement. In Shenzhen, getting a coffee dropped off by a drone isn't some quirky PR stunt. It's everyday infrastructure. The logistics are seamless. First, you just place an order on WeChat, their massive everything app. Then, over at a mall distribution center, your order gets physically loaded into a drone. Finally, that drone autonomously zips through a maze of skyscrapers right to a designated drop zone near you, cutting delivery times to practically nothing. But honestly, drones are just one piece of the puzzle. The entire city is being fundamentally automated. You've got fleets of driverless cars casually navigating insane city traffic. Need groceries? You just hover your hand over a sensor and pay with your biometric palm print. Checking into a hotel? A robot rides the elevator to deliver food right to your room. And at the train stations, security and boarding are instantaneous, all run by facial recognition. The city is a living laboratory.
And speaking of transit, look at this staggering number, 431 kilometers per hour. That is the top speed of Shanghai's maglev train connecting the airport to the city center. It's just a massive flex of domestic transit capabilities. They are moving millions of people with a level of hyper-efficiency that most Western cities can, frankly, only dream about right now.
All right, Section 4, the humanoid robotics race. Now, as an analyst, this is where things get really fascinating. This might be the true final frontier of tech rivalry. On one side, you have American tech, like Boston Dynamics and their incredible Atlas robot. It's heavy-duty, wildly dynamic, but heavily focused on pure research. The Chinese approach? Totally different. Take the Unitree G1 out of Hangzhou. It's compact, just over a meter tall and super light, with incredible joint mobility. But their goal isn't just winning a lab competition, they are aggressively targeting rapid market accessibility.
I mean, look at this price tag, $16,000. Let that sink in. That is the true market shockwave right there. They are taking this high-end sci-fi tech and turning it into something you can literally buy right now. Influencers and tech companies are already scooping them up and integrating them into daily routines. It's exactly the same playbook BYD used to dominate the car market, but now they're applying it to humanoids.
And it gets wilder. Companies like EX Robots in Shandong are taking a different route. They are building humanoids covered in hyper-lifelike silicone masks. And these aren't meant to be locked away on a factory floor. The target here is deep societal integration. We're talking about robots programmed to be teachers' aides in schools, to assist with ultra-precise operations in hospitals, or even act as tour guides. They are actively laying the groundwork for a future where talking to a humanoid robot is just a completely normal part of your day.
Finally, Section 5, changing the global tech order.
So, let's zoom back out to the macro level. When we look at the geopolitical picture, the contrast is actually quite stark. For the last couple of decades, established global powers, including the United States, have been heavily distracted by and engaged in external geopolitical conflicts. But look at what China was doing during that exact same time frame. They were quietly, methodically rearranging the entire rulebook for industrial dominance. They built the batteries, launched the autonomous drones, and priced humanoid robots for mass consumption.
Which brings us to a pretty massive historical question. We've seen technological hegemony shift before, right? Think about Britain. They held absolute global dominance for a long time, but eventually had to quietly step back on the world stage after the World Wars. So, looking objectively at the data, are we currently witnessing a similar inflection point for today's technological superpowers? With this aggressive sci-fi master plan accelerating in the East, is it time for America to quietly retreat on the world stage? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this look into the data has sparked your curiosity.